Today we bring you a story that has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, the film community and families around the world. A crime so tragic and unsettling that it challenges everything we think we know about celebrity, family and despair. Legendary filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner were found stabbed to death in their Brentwood, Los Angeles home, and shocking new developments suggest the alleged killer is their own son. This isn't a plot from a movie. It's real life, it's horrifying, and it's shaking Hollywood to its core. On December 14, 2025, emergency responders arrived at the Reiner's home in the upscale Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles after a medical aid call around 3:30 p.m. local time. Inside they found the bodies of Rob Reiner, 78, and Michelle Singer Reiner, 70, both with multiple sharp force injuries. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner later confirmed their deaths were ruled homicides. Rob Reiner was not just a filmmaker, he was Hollywood royalty. The son of legendary comedian Carl Reiner, Rob forged his own iconic career as an actor, director, producer, and activist. He first rose to fame as Michael "Meathead" Stivic on the seminal sitcom All in the Family, winning multiple Emmys. As a director, his credits include This Is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, and more. Movies that defined generations and remain cultural touchstones. His influence stretched across film, television, and even politics through his outspoken social activism. Michelle Singer Reiner was a celebrated photographer and producer, a creative partner to Rob, and an activist in her own right. Together, they co-presided over Castle Rock Entertainment and championed causes like LGBTQ+ rights and early childhood education. Tributes from Hollywood, political leaders and international figures poured in as the tragedy became public. But it wasn't just their deaths that stunned the world. It's who is accused of committing the crime. Their son, 32-year-old Nick Reiner, was arrested later that same night near the University of Southern California on suspicion of murder. He was taken into custody by the Los Angeles Police Department and is being held without bail, with prosecutors formally charging him with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Prosecutors have described the case as involving special circumstances, including multiple victims and the use of a knife. Meaning, if convicted, Nick could face life in prison without parole or, under California law, the possibility of the death penalty, though that option remains legally complicated and under review. According to law enforcement sources, investigators believe Nick deliberately fled the scene after the stabbings and was located hours later by officers responding to the initial discovery of the bodies. A search warrant was secured for the property, and police have been interviewing family members and associates as part of a rapidly evolving investigation. Unsurprisingly, details about Nick's troubled past have now entered the spotlight. The younger Reiner had been open in previous interviews about his long-standing battle with drug addiction, periods of homelessness and cycles in and out of rehab, struggles he even depicted in the 2016 film Being Charlie, which he co-wrote with his father. Those efforts at public vulnerability now feel eerily poignant in light of the horrific events. Friends and people close to the family have described a strained and complicated relationship between Nick and his parents. Police reports indicate that the weekend before the killings, the family attended a holiday party hosted by a talk show host Conan O'Brien, where Nick reportedly became agitated and had a loud argument with Rob, alarming other guests. Whether that incident directly preceded the killings remains part of the ongoing investigation. Even within this horror, the human element of loss is overwhelming. It was the Reiner's daughter, Romy, who discovered their parents' bodies in the home, a detail that has punctuated virtually every statement from the family. Closely held recollections from friends and loved ones described the couple as devoted parents who, despite decades of public life, were first and foremost family people. Worldwide tributes have poured in. Former President Barack Obama and political leaders, including California's governor and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, publicly honored Rob's legacy as a creative visionary and advocate for justice. Hollywood actors and collaborators remembered him as a generous spirit whose work uplifted others and shaped American culture. Even Saturday Night Live paid tribute to Reiner on its season finale, remembering his role as one of the show's earliest hosts and his influence on generations of comedy. Yet even as the tributes flow, there is another layer to this story: the conversations about mental health, addiction and family crisis that now accompany the headlines. Sources close to the family have shared that Rob and Michelle had tried for years to help their son through his struggles, efforts friends describe as heartfelt but ultimately insufficient in the face of deep personal battles that persisted into adulthood. They tried everything, one insider told reporters, capturing the tragic sense of desperation that now defines this case. In a development that has intensified public shock, their son, 32-year-old Nick Reiner, was arrested the same day on suspicion of murder and later formally charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, including special circumstances that could lead to a harsher sentence. Prosecutors have not yet decided whether to pursue the death penalty, and Nick's arraignment is scheduled for early January 2026. In court, he was seen wearing a suicide prevention vest and shackles, speaking only to acknowledge his legal rights. The alleged murders have cast a harrowing spotlight on a family long familiar with personal struggles. Nick had publicly discussed his battle with addiction and periods of homelessness, and his experiences even helped inspire the 2015 film Being Charlie, which he co-wrote with his father. Just months before the killings, Rob had spoken in interviews about believing his son was in a good place after years of recovery efforts, a remark that now resonates with tragic irony. Hollywood figures, political leaders and fans have expressed profound sorrow and disbelief at the events. Tributes have poured in for Reiner's body of work, spanning hits like This Is Spinal Tap, When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride and A Few Good Men, as well as for Michelle's creative contributions as a photographer and producer. Their children, Romy and Jake, issued a moving statement describing their parents as their best friends, underscoring the deep personal loss behind the headlines.